So I'm just gonna flip through them all first. I love this one. This one's so cute. Adrian was climbing on the back of the chair, and every single time it was like, ah, you're perfect. It was so cute.
And Ethan looks afraid.
I love it. Look at his toes. I love his little toes hanging. I love that too. So this one we could even crop Adrian out of. Ethan looks so sweet just sitting there. That one's super cute. In fact, I'm going to go back. Is he even tugging on his tie? That's kind of cute. Like that. Cute. Love the toes.
So normally what would you be showing these on? Would it be like
I actually
monitor?
would just bring a laptop
Okay.
to the event, so we show them on the laptop. There is a synchronization app that you can do so that you can hold your laptop and your client can hold your iPad, and then all they see is just the image going through, and I really like that as well. It works with the home view also, so that only what you're seeing is the image view in the middle is what they see. So that works really well. But all these are going to be, those are the two of them together. I like them just doing their thing and being naughty boys. That one's sweet. Aw, cute. But any of the two of them together like this would be great for that center image that we talked about.
Yeah.
I think that might have been doing a little dance. Cute.
Yeah.
And I will say too, you guys, these are obviously not anywhere close to what they're going to look like when I pull the raw and finish these. She's a photographer, so she knows. But in real life, Mom sitting right here does not care. She is not thinking about that at all. All she cares about is those looks on her boys' faces. Even this right here, you know, I mean, I could tell you, I mean, that is hysterical. That would make me crack up every single time I looked at it. You know, something like that could even end up being the wall portrait because it's them, you know, they are being them. Cute. I love that. We'll try to get our settings a little better for the next session, but that's cute too. I love Adrian's face in that. Mm. All right. Sweet. So normally as I'm going through these, I'm actually categorizing them, but it's for some reason when we synced it didn't get that setting.
And what kinds of
figured out.
categories?
I'm actually, as I'm going through, she's thinking that she's looking at them for the first time before we go back and go through each one individually. But what I'm doing as we're doing that is I'm going ahead and saying nope, 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 and I'm narrowing them down. And we've got, I don't know how many images. I was going to tell you, but love that. Thank you. Oh, let's look at that one again. Where'd it go? Oh, that one. Well, that one looks like Adrian's about to do something really naughty.
Yeah.
And that was throwing the ball. See, like that, just looking at it, I would just get rid of it normally. And she's never going to go through 30, 40 images and go, wait, what about that one? You know, it's just not going to happen when we go through it again. So we took a lot of images in a very short amount of time. I really love these, and this one would be very easy to just lighten up his face. So that's super cute. That's way cute. I love how he's holding his hands in his little chubby hands. And so even like, oh, precious. So something like that, and then the two previous vertical ones, I could see hanging together. Love that. And we could get Adrian out of that one. I think that was really precious. That one's out of focus, so that would be a no. That's as close to a hug as we got, I think. Oops. I don't know why that's there. All right, so we flip through them one time, and it pretty much is just like that. We just float through, and then I'm going to go back to the light tray here. And let's see. For instance, these three that we saw. I really love all three of those even together. I'll go back. So then what happens is after we flip through the first time, we're going to then go back, and normally, like I said, I would have this already edited down without even saying anything to her. I'm going to tell you how many images we have here. Can't see it. There's a lot. But what we'll do now is, okay, I'll go ahead since my rating system isn't really working here. I'll go through and select a couple of these first ones of the boys, and we'll choose a favorite. So we've got, are we able to angle this over here at all? Can we just slide the TV? Yeah, I don't think Nicole can really see. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
And I would say one of these three. Whoops. Let's go back.
I think they're all fine of Adrian's. Which one's the best of Ethan?
This one's pretty sweet. So that first one,
I think the first one.
406. And as you can see in here, I can click and drag and crop that in just right away. So very easy to, on the fly, even if it's not composed perfectly, you just crop it in if you want to. If you want it back out, it's just the Alt key and go the other way. So makes it just a really nice, quick, easy. We're going to say we love that one of the boys for time's sake. And, well, let's go through this first row and see if it's rating them, like I think it is. So we know that's a 1. That's a yes. Come on.
I think they're all 3-star.
So those we're leaving where they are. Normally, just with the arrow keys, I can go down. What do you think about that one?
I think Ethan didn't warm up until a little bit later on.
Okay.
I think he looks a little.
That's pretty cute. And that's not a typical question. Like I said, she's a photographer.
Sorry.
Normally, if somebody did ask me that, I'm going to tell her I wouldn't put anything on your wall that's not in focus. Yeah. So you don't need to worry about that. We'll just choose our favorites.
I like the one of Adrian standing.
Okay. So we like the other one, this one better.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we've got the ones selected we like 406 and 414 or 415. Let's look at those. I love that he's leaning in this one because he's just climbing over that chair and it's just cute. His little foot is up there. But I like the angle of his body in that one too. And Ethan really looks cute in both of those. Like 14? Okay. So we're going to call that our favorite of the two of them and there. And let's look down here at some of these of them by themselves.
The favorite Adrian is one with his hands up by his face.
Okay. I love that too.
Whichever one is the best of those. And then GQ, Ethan's pretty cute.
This one? Is that the one you're thinking?
Yeah, that one. Or even of the ones before. I think, are his eyes closed in that?
His eyes are closed in this one. He's looking down.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, that one or 55. I can't tell which
53 and 55. So we're gonna go, I will get this figured out on the break, you guys, sorry. Okay, so we're just gonna know it's 53, 55, and
6. No.
14?
No, 14.
Okay, so when we go into our home view over here, and we've got your, is this you? I've got this saved, and I have sent Nicole this saved home view that we did right over this canvas that we're going to tell her she needs to go hang somewhere else.
Yeah.
So this is what we designed in. How do you feel about the colors? Do you think we did okay with
Oh,
the?
yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to drag this in, and now that we've chosen images, we've chosen vertical images. So I'm going to suggest to her actually that she chooses the package B, which it makes it 11 by 12s instead of the 10 by 10s, and because otherwise we'd be cropping too much, which is totally fine. So we're just going to tell her that, and we can drop those images in. And I've got, I can look right here and see what my colors are. I've got emerald and cameo brown cow, and this one is Bing cherry and Roman and emerald. So I would just make a note of that, and then when we click in, I can go to her, to the templates, and choose package B instead. Let's get rid of these first. And I'm just gonna hit the D button to delete these, and I'm gonna choose package B to put over here. I'm gonna go back to her client room, rooms client. Bring her room view in there. We still have it all sized perfectly for that space. And one of the tools in preview is you select all three, and then these are kind of like your Photoshop tools where you can line everything up. So we're going to say, to make them horizontal, this is to vertical, distributes them vertically, and then bottom edge. So they're all lined up there perfectly now. And so now we can go and click on each one, and it'll take us to the project builder. And we've got our images here. Normally, there are edited images, and there it's trying to do that, but we'll do the center one first, get it cropped in there. And how cute is that? Frame collection, we're going to go molding color, we're going to find that emerald green, there it is. And then we are going to trim it with the trim and trim color of a brown of some sort. Oh, but there's Bing cherry. Okay, so cute. We're going to save that project.
So Lori, in this situation, I know you're just going full steam. Is Nicole, are you looking at this saying, oh yeah, I like what she's doing?
Yeah.
Are you thinking other things in your head? Or does the mom ever stop you at this point and say, wait a minute? How's that work?
I'll ask her about, but typically a lot of that's already handled, I've already talked to her on the phone, and we even talked on the phone. If I was sitting here for the first time, this is not going to go as smoothly because I'm not going to know that those colors were right for her. I hadn't asked her that before, but I based the color choices that I chose with the surrounding elements that she sent to me. That's one of the things that we always ask them to do, is to not just photograph the wall. We want them to photograph the surrounding elements. We do want it face on so that we've got that image flat, straight on, and not in an angle. But I want to see if there's a couch or a credenza or something to the side, and she did a great job with that by showing me some of those elements so I could choose the colors. And like I said, I hadn't asked her that before, but if we came to that point and we needed to change colors, you can see that we can easily do that here, because now we literally are rebuilding this because we chose a different size. So normally, even with kids this age, I can get a moment where I've got their little faces together, and I started to play that little game with them, but they just weren't having it. Where, let's put your feet together, let's put your hands together, let's put your tummies together, and then they giggle, and let's put your cheeks together, and they kind of play this little sequence. And Ethan's right on the edge of wanting, or that age to do it. But that 3, 4, 5, 6 age, they want to play that kind of follow the leader game, and it's really fun. So in my mind, I'm thinking faces close together in that 10 by 10. Well, we didn't get that. We got this instead, and this is just as precious. So we'll just change the orientation of the framing that we originally intended. So I'm gonna do this as the project. I think I saved it already, but I'll do it again. So we've got that there for the middle. We've got this, and now because that's saved, never mind. Okay, now we're gonna go back and we're gonna do this one, and I'm gonna do the colors first, and we're gonna start with brown on this one and add the trim, which is gonna be the bungalow trim, and let's try that, nope. That's fine. Well, and like I said, if you go and do it alphabetically, it becomes much easier. Emerald. Okay, so what I'll do now, the reason that wasn't saved before, I wanna save this project. And so that's going to allow me to pull this frame for a second time to put on that wall instead of having to go back and find the colors again and recreate it. So we'll do that. We'll go back to our images here, and we're going to find our individual one that we love of Adrian, which is this one. So we'll pull that in there. That's sized pretty well for that spot. We're going to say save.
Now, since you're just showing the small JPEG, would you say to mom one way or the other, oh, don't worry, we'll lighten up his face? And I think you said moms don't really necessarily
and they
worry
don't.
about.
And I mean, like something like that, though, is pretty obvious. We've got a dark face. So I would say that to her. I'm also going to tell her, even before we start looking at the images, I'm going to tell her, I just photographed these. So before you get everything's going to be perfect. But we're just going to be making our selections at this time. So, yes. I'm not sure why my project isn't saving. There should be a new frame in there. So we are going to have to build this. All right, so now we're going to go find Ethan, and we liked Mr. GQ here. And crop that up. And you see how easy it is to just crop and go. Was this one supposed to be emerald? I think it was. If it's not, we'll get the idea. There's the trim. We're going to do the Bing Cherry, and we're going to save. And go back to our wall. So now here we are again, and I messed with them, so they got kind of out of whack there. I'm going to separate them just a little bit more because we've got a lot of space there. Now, if this was a studio client, I would be recommending larger frames for this space. And with the Real Kids event client, I'm going to let the mom suggest that. If she says, can I go bigger with those? Absolutely. But I'm not going to take it over the limit with this mom because we've already presented her with 4 packages that I'm trying to plug her into quickly. And so, but a lot of times that does happen, where somebody will say to me, they kind of get lost there. And they look fine. These would look fine just as they are. So I wouldn't sell it if I didn't think that it looked great. But, and as you can see, I did this opposite. This was supposed to be the brown frame on the right. So I did that the opposite, but that's gonna look great with her decor. It's gonna look super in this room, and she can move these anywhere in this room. She could choose to take this image out, hang these 2 together, and still do another piece there. Maybe she loves a different one of the 2 of them that she wants to go here bigger, and then she could take this one out as an accent piece. So there's all kinds of things that you can do with a grouping like this. And this is what I would do normally if I messed up like that with a client. I would just move these around and just go switch that image real quick instead of trying to find the colors. So we've got that selected for her grouping. And one of the things that Nicole and I talked about, she told me on the phone that, I'm pregnant, I'm about to have another baby, and I really don't know if I want to do this. I don't want to commit to a package. And so we discussed the fact that, these boys are this age right now, and there's only 2 of them. And there's going to be a baby that's coming along that's going to take the spotlight. And how awesome is it going to be for those boys to say, you know what, I'm pretty important. There I am, And so, and Nicole agreed, and she thought that would be a great way to really celebrate this time in the boy's life before that baby comes and takes over, because he will. So we've got that, and then also with your package, Nicole, you're going to get 2 tabletop frames. And so do you think you'd like to do one of each of the boys alone, or would you like to find 2 more of them together?
Probably together, so that way they don't have to stay next to each other. I feel like if there's one of each, then they kind of is a pair, but if it's both of them together, they can be moved in different places.
Okay, great.
And I think there were a few that were, both of them together were pretty cute. So hopefully there are 2 more that would qualify to be framed.
Perfect. Okay, and I'm going to explain real quick why I wasn't seeing those projects come in. It's because I wasn't building a project. I was taking it from the home view. And so now that I clicked Save Home View, there are my projects that I just built. So now what happens with that, normally I would be building them separately and pulling them into the room view, but I pulled them in from a template that was already built with the 3 together. So now that they are saved, they're here. I just realized it clicking on this. But now I've clicked Save Home View. And so I can come down here to the saved home views, and it's going to be there for me. So before I had this one without the kids in it, now I've got this one with the kids. So we've got those. The other thing that I can do if Nicole says, you know, I really do like that, but I don't necessarily want it in this room. I can go to one of the other rooms that she sent me, and she sent me her stairway also, and I can put it on her stairway. So we can move it around there and do something great for the stairway. So this, we talked about this as well, and I told you guys that normally if somebody sends me 2 different areas, I'm going to design for 2 different areas. But this was a spot that we really thought could be reserved for growing that gallery when the baby came. So we'll do something special in the living room, and in a year or 2, she's going to want to move these images somewhere else in the home. You don't want to lose them or get rid of them, but she'll want to move them and then bring in new images of all 3 of the kids or the baby and each of the boys. Unless there's some crazy photographer that can get them all together. But you know, she'll have that space for that, and then she can continue to grow this gallery with the baby. So we'll go out, and that's been saved, and we'll go out and flip through some of these, the 2 of them together. I'm going to say, let's look at kind of a different situation since we've got the one on the chair. And sweet. And the thing with the smaller ones too, oh,
That's
I love
really
that.
quite cute. That is a really good one.
The things with the smaller ones too is even something like that. I mean, it's so great to have a little outtake on a table when you've got the portraits hanging on the wall. So I would even suggest something like that because it's just funny.
That's a good one.
I like that too.
So when she says, I like that, are you starring it? Or
I am starring it, and I can star them with just hitting the 1, 2, and 3 keys. So 1 is going to be a favorite, and 2, and some people do it opposite, like a 3-star is the best, you know. I'm just used to doing 1 for yeses and 3 for nos and 2 for maybes. So, and typically, I am going through each one individually. I got thrown a little bit, I'll tell you, with not having this work just like it normally does. But typically I am telling her, we're going to go back down through each image individually, and as we go through, I'm just going to have you tell me if it's a yes or no or maybe. Your no's we're just going to throw out of the bunch, and we're not going to look at those again. Your maybes are going to be your biggest category. Those are going to be images that we can go back to if you decide on an album or any multiple image piece. And the yeses will be your very favorites that we will be choosing product for. So as we look through, you can tell me we're going to throw it out, or it's a maybe or a yes. And so that's typically the spiel. I didn't even go there because I'm like freaked out over here.
This is live TV, and guess what? We have another one up next.
And we have a 5-minute break in between, so I can figure this out.
We have a 20-minute break.
Oh, wow, awesome.
You're all
I'll really
good.
have it figured out, or better, right? But that's typically how that normally would go. So we're kind of jacked up here a little bit, but it's going, and we're still, you can see the process at least, how this kind of works. I love that too. It's sweet. And what helps with that is right now I'm just kind of going, oh, let's look at the ones we like. But once we have them categorized, we know, okay, we've got them down to this many images. And so I'm going to be able to suggest an image box or an album or something to add on because we've got this group of images that she really loves. Right now, I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants.
Which is also real and a real learning moment.
Yeah, I mean, if stuff happens, you just deal with it. But this is a good reason for me to have run through this on a different computer before I jumped on it. So I even love that. I love seeing Adrian's eyelashes, and he's so into the, what he's doing and playing with that ball. I love that. That was a good little prop to bring in. They liked this. Mm-hmm. Cute. Let's see. So have you seen any of those so far that you would think? I'm going to go back to the light tray. We liked that one a lot. Mm-hmm. Let's look at a couple of these. Are the two of them together? And let's pull those up. So this as well, once you've narrowed down to favorites, you can then pull up a side-by-side view. So that makes it nice to, really get down to, well, I love these four. I don't want to get rid of one of them, but I think for my tabletop frame, I'm going to take this one. We still know we've got the other three to work from if we end up with a multiple image piece.
I think the second two.
Okay.
29 and 31. I could see them side by side, actually being displayed side by side.
The other thing that I failed to do, Lori, is to have an order form with me. And you can, in Preview, you can just add to an invoice so you don't have to do anything written. There's an invoicing system built in, but I always have handwritten my orders, and so I continue to do it. One of the things that we do have is, and she likes 29 and 31 of the two boys together, so we would go with those for those smaller frames. But one of the things that I would do, that it does, is when we're in the framing, it is going to, I'm going to go back to projects. It's going to give me a price. Right over here on the side, it's not going to show up until I do this. And if they're on an iPad or something separate, they're not going to see it. This is the price that the client pays. So I've already told the system, I want you to multiply my frames by this much. The print cost is already in there, so they're seeing the print cost and the frame cost. So that makes it easy where if she wants to add a fourth piece to her grouping, I can come in here, look at the one frame and say an additional frame would be $195. With your package, you're going to get 10% off an additional frame, or whatever, whatever you decide to do. But that's one thing. I don't choose to use the invoicing system within here, just personal preference. I was taught way back when from Tim Kelly that it's very personal to sit and be able to write and take notes, and for you to see me taking notes that say, we like this about this one or that about that one, crop this one this way. But it is nice also to be able to just save it like she has seen it cropped. It's saved in here. We save the project, so we always have that to go back to as a reference. Any questions, you guys?
The audience, yeah.
Nicole.
Yes.
Right. So, how do you feel about this process that you guys are going through right now?
I actually really like it because I get to see all of the images. And I know that Lori said she would, throw away the bad ones immediately, but I even like seeing the not so good ones and getting to see how they look in the different frames before committing to an order that I might not be sure if the color is going to be what I think it is concerning the frame. And also getting to see the layout in your house is great because it's really difficult to imagine what it'll look like in reality. So it's nice to get to see that and have the sizes, all the ratios there. So I think that's really fabulous. It's a lot better than just looking at little images on someone's website and clicking that you like this picture and hoping that the actual final product is going to look like how you think it will look. So I think it's really, really great.
And is it okay if I? And I know that, I don't know if there's any money being transferred here, but hopefully not. So, but.
I'm not being paid. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I meant. But you know, because I look at this and, you know, an underlying thing here, I mean, we're business people, and, you know, and making money. And, but yet, you know, the money piece, I'm not sure when that was, I can't remember when you said that you were covering that earlier. I know that you've said, well, this is going to be around, expect to spend around $1,000.
They actually get all my packages. So they already have a PDF of the product menu if they don't have an actual one. I also have always with me a hardbound copy of it. And so if there are questions and they don't bring, a lot of times they actually bring it back with them or they've printed it out on the computer. I've heard some photographers say that they would never let their client send a PDF because their client's going to print it and it's going to look like crap. I do not care. I mean, it saves money. You know, you send a PDF product menu. I always, even in my family sessions in the studio, one hardbound piece. Everything else gets PDF'd. Now with the wall, the sticker thing, I am printing some pieces, but you certainly don't have to. You don't have to invest in that money in the beginning. But I'll have a hardbound piece with the packages in it. And this, again, tomorrow I'm going to show you guys, but I actually have the packages on one side and the build a collection on the other. So it meets together, and that's another just money saver. I don't want to print two different albums. And when I'm working with a mom on either way, if they wanted to choose from the other one, it's okay. But they don't because of the way that we're focused on the one. The one is the only thing they get in the mail. And so that's or the email, so that's what they're gonna see. So it actually has package A, package B. So she's got this with all the prices already, and then I'm telling her, based on her wall and everything we've talked about, this is the one I'm gonna suggest. So, you know, and that's another thing that too, if you go home tomorrow and only do one thing differently, you know, yesterday I told you could just do taking your images offline and meeting with your client in person and double your money. This is the second thing, make a suggestion.
I have to say I appreciated it quite a bit.
And that's the other piece.
Yeah,
So, you know,
from the
because
client side. Because we spoke beforehand, gave her the photo of the room, talked about the issue of having another baby, so photographing them now and, you know, dealing with more images later. So having given all that information to her and then having her provide a suggestion did help just with my guidance as to what I kind of should be looking for and then what she can provide to satisfy what my needs are.
Well, and I think, you know, we've all been to the furniture store or the car dealership or the, you know, whatever, where we're making a large purchase and we're there and there's somebody that really is helpful. They're taking the time to show us fabrics and options and asking about, you know, well, what, you want something deep? Do you want something more narrow? What's your space look like? How does that work in your space? And at the end, you don't feel sold. You feel taken care of, you know? And so that's the point of even going through this whole process, to make sure that she feels really good about the decisions that she's making. And our clients want our suggestions. They want them. So that's one thing. The typical process with the photographer is to do a slideshow and show all the images and go through everything, and then, you know, mom's saying, yes, I like this, I like that, I like this, and we get to the end and we say, okay, well, what would you like? They don't know what they want. They like these pictures and I don't know.
Going to sell it.
If we haven't walked them through this process and let them know what's available and make those suggestions, they don't know. And so make suggestions, do it in person. 2 things that will change your life.